that amazing sound that sometimes comes into the ears, you know, it's like a kind of a buzzing, sort of humming sound. There's so much in that sound. So much. It contains all the music that was ever written in the world, and it contains all the voices of all the people and all the animals and the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs made incredible sounds. They had to have, because they had these massive resonating chambers in their heads, like their whole, like what's sinus area to us, right? With these great big, on some of them, great big, intricately formed instruments in their heads. So if they produced a resonation with the vocal cords, it went up into that big resonator up there. And incredible, incredible, incredible. This is healing for the earth right here. It's incredible. Just, I didn't, you know, it's always, you guys always surprise me. Who would have thought we'd be doing energy healing with the dinosaurs? But this is interesting because we think of them as being dumb, right? Because they had brains as big as walnuts and stuff and great big bodies. But let me tell you something. They had this ability to produce sounds that are phenomenal. And the sounds they produce echoed into the body of Mother Earth. And they had a healing effect on the earth. They didn't just have a healing effect, they had a manifesting effect on the earth. This was self-interacting dynamics of divinity at that time through those types of bodies that were part of an extremely refined process of transformation of the surface of the earth. So before the dinosaurs, there are all kinds of volcanoes and rains that went on for centuries and centuries, and all kinds of upheaval-y type of stuff going on earth, you know, movements of tectonic plates, all this heavy duty stuff. But then during the time of the dinosaurs, the sound waves that were produced by those beings were causing shifts that were like at a more delicate level, right? They were intense. They were all over the earth. So I'm just asking, being, because without our earth, there's no point in any of this, right? We need that healing too. So we as a collective are offering this attention into this point of recognition of how the sound frequencies and vibrations produced by our beings affect the earth. And that right now, what we're doing is we're building upon those transformations that occurred back in the Jurassic period, the Triassic period. It's an honoring of the role of those life forms that were here on earth. They have been, what we're really doing is we're bringing up a greater, more loving appreciation of the role of those life forms and the dynamics of what was taking place at that time on earth, in order to support healing of those forms on earth. So their forms, their particular structures on earth right now that were formed back in the times of the dinosaurs. And those structures are undergoing a transformation. And what I'm seeing happening is a great awakening of an honoring. Oh, crazy. I'm just seeing this fossil-like rock here, and I'm saying that there it is. It's a magic necklace. I didn't know it was a magic necklace when they put it on. Those forms, there's a awakening of dignity and reverence and recognition of the resources that are in these forms on the earth. It has not been recognized up till now. So we're doing this as a first time. We're opening a doorway into something that has been closed or has been veiled up to this point. There's information, and the information is like the very early, we can think of the dinosaurs as having their own language, right? But see, their language also came from the sun, right? Because it still is a relationship between whatever kind of impulses of intelligence were rolling through, impulses of feeling, we could say, and experience and perception running through those bodies, and then expressed out as sound, and very sophisticated, very profound qualities of sound. And so what's happening is we're receiving a download of the distinct information that was contained in those sounds. It's a very interesting, there's like huge, you know, ancient, they're like ancient traditions of humans on Earth and so forth. This is a very ancient tradition. And there's a lot of information that is contained in those sounds, which literally isn't available to us on Earth right now. There was this research study, I heard about it years ago, where kitty cats were raised, some of them were raised in worlds that had only vertical lines, and others were raised in worlds with only horizontal lines. And then after this experiment, when the kitties were like 5 or 6 months old and getting to be like adolescent kitties, they put them in worlds that had all different sizes and shapes of furniture and things. And what they found was the kitty cats who were raised in a world where everything was horizontal would accidentally just like bump into a table leg and not even see it, because they hadn't created the neural connections to see that vertical table leg. Of course, at that point, they probably started making those connections. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that our brains have previously not been wired to accommodate a level of wisdom that sits still in the earth. It's locked into the different stones, but we weren't raised to see this information, but it's useful information. It's essential information for activating our ability to not only maintain our own physical health for ourselves, but to support healing for the whole world, because that information is basic to maintaining balance and integration for Earth. So this is the download that's being received by everyone. This particular type of download is very rich. It's very complex. It's got lots of bits and pieces. And I'm looking at the time, and I'm seeing all the questions that are in. So I want you to know that we will continue unpacking this. Like I'm unpacking it still. It's so thick, you guys. It's so thick. You know, a lot of times downloads come in and I'll just unpack it in a flash like that. But this thing, there's a lot in it. It's stretching my ability to unpack a download. Let's see if I can just give an overview, though. At least an overview. There are 2 parts. There's one part, the second part. The second part is associated with the quality of the sounds being like, it's like I can hear them. It's like a music like that you never heard before kind of thing. So I'm hearing that music and I'm understanding that it's speaking to our physiologies. As this physiology, as this consciousness is hearing this music of the dinosaurs, it's communicating, got it? It's communicating the mechanics of structuring. And structuring through particularly the denser materials. The 2 parts, I got it. Because it's got the upper part of the message or the download is the structuring on the level of finer materials such as air and space. And then fire sits in the middle. And then the other half communicates the structuring with water and earth. And these are the elements out of which our physiology is comprised. And this understanding the way the sound vibrations interact with these 5 elements is extremely sophisticated. It has the ability to literally move mountains, which is what these beings were able to do. They literally were moving at that level of Earth's material. Cool. They weren't so dumb. Wow. Some dignity. Maybe there wasn't a lot of dignity back then, but the human, we bring it from our perspective, from our telescope. We bring the element of dignity, nobility, grace, refinement, integration, and balance right there. And this is a full body download. I'm seeing it going into everyone's cord of light. This is where it is, right? Straight into the body. This is in the information of using electromagnetic frequency or sound to influence the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, space, and air and space. And along with this receiving of information, there's also a releasing going on for everybody ancestrally of belief systems, assumptions, pain bodies and attachments that surround the concept of being incapable and being weak and being unable to do things, being unfamiliar, being unable to function effectively within the context of moving into the unknown. Energy healing is all about moving into the unknown. That's what we do. And do it capably, do it successfully. Like, I didn't know we were going to be doing energy healing with dinosaurs. That was totally unknown to me. You guys, oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Amazing, amazing, amazing. More on that download probably later for everybody, but right now everybody's receiving it as a full body experience. So that's great, because each one of our physiologies integrates with a slightly different speed. So as it all starts to integrate, it will continue coming out now as we're going along. Here's another question. A lot of little kids, boys, love dinosaurs and know a lot about them. Is this connected with their own mechanics of structuring? Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful connection. Thank you for that connection. Because little boys are all about, oh, I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you, darling. Thank you for understanding. We're rolling right through. Yeah, what they're doing, what little boys are doing when they do that kind of dinosaur play, is they're connecting back to that level of manifesting or structuring, because that's what in their life they do. And they grow up and they create things. They create all kinds of beautiful things. They write books. They build buildings. They do wonderful things.